Okay, did Jesus really rise from the dead? Because if he did, he's God. I mean, that is the miracle of all miracles, and no human being can claim to have risen from the dead, and clearly that would be God's stamp of approval on Jesus Christ as his Son and as divine. So did Jesus Christ rise from the dead? Well, here's what we know, even from the most critical historical perspective. Jesus Christ lived, Jesus Christ taught about God, Jesus Christ was crucified. The Roman historians will tell you that much. You don't need the Bible for that. And then here's the curious truth. Christianity started in Jerusalem. That's where the church was born. That's where this movement picked up steam, and it started in Jerusalem after the death of Jesus Christ. Now, how could that possibly happen if there is a tomb a mile or so away that has Jesus' body? Christianity would have never happened. The fact that Christianity exists proves that the tomb was at least empty. The question is who emptied it? Was it the apostles, who all died for their faith and experienced exile for their faith and suffered horrible, brutal beatings for their faith? Did they all die and accept these horrible punishments for something they knew was a lie? That seems quite unlikely. And obviously, the Roman Empire had no interest in emptying that tomb. They wanted to keep this new Christian movement quiet. They didn't want any more uprisings in Jerusalem. And the Pharisees and Sadducees clearly would not have emptied the tomb as well. In fact, they would have wanted the tomb to remain, to contain Jesus' body for eternity. And so the only person left is God. I mean, if the apostles, who were all beaten and killed for their faith, didn't empty the tomb, and it wasn't these other people, it would have to be God. So I guess you have to really ask yourself, would countless people die for something they knew they made up, and not a single one recant? If they wouldn't, not a single one recant, then it must have been God who emptied the tomb, just from a historical perspective. And then you look at contemporary miracles today, and the miracles that we know are real from the life of Jesus Christ. It sure seems much more likely that Jesus was God and that he rose from the dead. And that's what Catholics believe.